New clues in the case of missing Nancy Guthrie, and new case evidence coming from her daughter, Savannah Guthrie, co-host of the Today Show. Savannah breaking her silence, doing an emotional interview with Today and her friend Hoda Kotb, talking about case evidence, some we knew, the blood on the porch, the ransom note, and some details we didn't know, including the back door and it being propped open. What does it mean? We're going to break it down with a crime scene investigator. But first, do me a favor. If you haven't already, hit the like button, share this episode, and hit subscribe. We want to bring the true crime family back together. Now the case of missing Nancy Guthrie. Here to help answer some of our questions with this ongoing investigation, we have right there, friend of the program, Sheryl McCollum, crime scene investigator and author of Swans Don't Swim in a Sewer. First off, nice to see you, my friend. Thank you for being here.
It is so good to see you. I love what you've got going on here, honey.
Well, let's talk about this case. We are learning new details, but not from investigators, right? We're learning from the victim's family and, Savannah Guthrie going through a lot right now, but she realizes the power of the media and keeping it fresh out there, but she's sharing little details. And I first want to play some of these clips from the Today Show and get your take on them. Let's first play this.
We are not alone until we need an answer. And someone has it in their power to help. It is never too late. And when you do, the warmth of love and forgiveness that will come.
So, you've dealt with a lot of victims' families. I'm hoping that they have a go-to person. What's happening behind the scenes right now for the Guthrie family?
I think Savannah's fed up. I think when she says we don't know anything, that's the truth. And that should not be the case. She should know as much as the investigators at this point. If they have truly cleared her family, then everything should be on the table. What she told us when she mentioned the doors being propped open, for most experts should have changed this thing a little bit. I have not changed my opinion from what I thought day one. When you're looking at that person at her front door, the way that he's outfitted himself, the way he is manipulating flowers at that camera, the way he doesn't destroy the camera first. Here's the other reality, Matt. He didn't destroy the camera on the 11th or the 24th either. So you've got to ask yourself, what is going on with this assailant more than what were the actions of Nancy Guthrie? It is important that we know when she was dropped off, but I would stay focused on him if it were my case.
Yeah, and we have learned that there wasn't really much that came from the initial, what was shared, what was collected, right? The blood on the front porch area is hers, and the glove was not associated, that was tested and found nearby. But there is still DNA being worked from the crime scene within the home.
Right. And that's, again, why this case is not cold. I hear that all the time. The case is cold. It's not. They are actively working this case. They're still collecting video. They're still interviewing people. They are waiting for that mixture, for those two DNAs to be separated so they can concentrate on the unknown male DNA and see whether or not they can develop a profile.
Yeah, and you know what? That led us to some big breaks in cases such as the Brian Koberger case. We have Rex Heuermann case leading to his arrest, and also the Golden State Killer. So we know that really well with the genetic genealogy and forensics that go along with that. Those are heroes in their own right. But we're also learning more details about this case, and including point of entry into the Guthrie home. Let me play that.
She said, "Mom's missing." And I said, "What? Yeah. What are you talking about?" She said, "She's gone." And she was in a panic. I was in a panic. I'm like, "Call 911. Yeah. She's like, "I did. We've called them. They're here." And we thought that she must have had like some kind of medical episode in the night, and that somehow, the paramedics had come because the back doors were propped open, and that didn't make any sense. We thought maybe they came and there was a stretcher and they took her out the back, but her phone was there and her purse was there and all her things. And it just didn't make any sense. So, Annie and Tommy had already called all the hospitals, but then I'm like, I'm going to call the hospital. So then I started calling the hospitals, and the police were there and talking to her at the same time. And it was just chaos. Yeah. And Annie and Tommy were saying, this isn't that case that you are used to where someone wanders off. She can't wander off. My mom, she was in tremendous pain. Yeah. Her back was very bad. She was trying to, on a good day, she could walk down to the mailbox and get the mail, but most days not.
Just going to pause it right there. And again, that clip from the Today Show. So the back door being propped open, everyone is so hyper-focused on that fact, because initially everyone probably thought that she was going to be brought out through the front, that was the plan from the beginning, because it's her blood on the front porch. So what do you think happened?
I'm going to say what I've said from the beginning. I think a lot of this is staged. Think about what doesn't have to happen to kidnap an 84-year-old woman. You don't have to go to the front door and spend over a minute fooling with a Nest camera. You don't have to collect flowers and in a really odd, strange way, try to prop those flowers up on that camera. I don't know what that was about. That's still one of the strangest things I've ever seen. Then you go around to the back of the house where the lights are knocked off on the top of one door, and then under the porch, another door. And Savannah says the doors were propped open. Propped open for what? She clearly went out the front. That's where her blood is. So it's staged to make it look like all of these people were there and all this big thing happened. That's what it looks like to me. It looks fake. It looks bogus. It looks staged. There's no reason for that to happen. Look at all of his actions. Matt, if you and I decided we were going to kidnap an 84-year-old woman, I don't need a weapon. I don't need a backpack. I don't need flowers. I don't need to knock the cameras down. All of these things that are happening are not necessary. He spent over 30 minutes inside and outside that home. For what? You bust in that back door or the sliding glass door, you grab her, you throw her in a car, you're gone. Less than 6 minutes. 40 minutes? 41 minutes? I have no idea what that is. Here's the other thing. He comes on the 11th. He comes on the 24th. He comes back on the 31st. That ain't 5 people. That ain't a group of people. We have a still photograph where he's dressed differently without a backpack. So follow the evidence, not a theory. So far, we have no evidence that there's more than one person. None.
All right, let's continue to play some of this. Really good insight from you. And then I also want to talk to you about the terrain, because you've been to that area as well.
There's no wander off. And the doors were propped open.
Yeah.
And there was blood on the front doorstep. And the Ring camera had been yanked off.
Yeah.
And so we were saying, this is
do something.
This is not okay.
Yeah.
This isn't, something is very wrong here.
Yeah. Did you guys talk about what possibly could have happened? Like, what could have happened? What went down? Did you?
I think my brother, I mean, my siblings are so amazing. My brother, he spent his career in the military and worked in intelligence and is a fighter pilot and is brilliant. And he saw very clearly right away what this was.
Yeah.
And even on the phone, when I called him, he knew.
He knew.
And he said, I think she's been kidnapped for ransom. just said, do you think because of me? And he said, I'm sorry, sweetie, but yeah, maybe. But I knew that.
You did.
I hope not. I mean, we still don't know. Honestly, we don't know anything.
No.
We don't know anything. So I don't know that it's because she's my mom and somebody thought, oh, that girl, that lady has money. We can make a quick buck. I mean, that would make sense, but we don't know. But yeah, that's probably, which is too much to bear.
She keeps on saying we don't know. So that kind of surprises me. In an investigation like this, how much would the family know? And maybe, they would be told stuff and say, hey, this is a ransom situation. You can't share X, Y, Z. But it sounds like she really doesn't know anything.
She doesn't know anything. I think you could tell by the way she was trying to communicate with the so-called kidnapper that she didn't know anything. She didn't know a name to call them. She was speaking directly to them. She was at some point speaking directly to her mama. If somebody had given her information, she would have said, Sam, I got your letter. I'm going to pay you. Tell me where to meet you or tell me how to do it, right? But you're talking about somebody that doesn't hear that it's ransom day 1, day 2, day 3. And then they're talking about Bitcoin. They're talking about an odd amount of 6 million. Why not 10? Why not 20? Like 6 million is a weird number. You would expect 5, 10, 15, etc. And then there's no real communication. If they had left a ransom note behind at Nancy Guthrie's home, or if they had contacted the family directly, Savannah would know. She would know whether or not her name was in it. Why would they pick that woman that day in that house at that night for ransom? You don't grab somebody you don't know is worth money. If somebody were to kidnap me right now, honey, they're going to be disappointed. Okay. I don't have it. My husband can't get it. So I'm the wrong target. Why her? And why did they think they could get 6 million in Bitcoin? The other part of that is Savannah would have to have a Bitcoin account. Is that something they know? Is that something that's true? So again, if she doesn't have a Bitcoin account, if she doesn't have 6 million where she can get to it, because let's be clear about something. She may be worth 40 million because they published that all over creation. That don't mean she can get it. I may be worth $368,000. I can't get that today. Do you understand?
Yeah.
So, I can't sell my house. I can't sell my car. I can't sell my boat. You got to give me a minute. Well, we've had 50 days. Nobody's even tried to touch that $1 million. It just not adding up. It doesn't feel authentic to me at all.
Yeah, and I'm still going to ask you about the terrain, but still sticking with this train of thought with the ransom notes. And since Savannah was talking about that, do you think that those ransom notes are connected to the perpetrator, to the abductor? Or do you think that that was other people?
From day one, I thought they were bogus. I knew for a fact some of them had to be outside people just trying to, pull the long con on somebody. She believes, she said 2 might be associated. I don't know why she thinks that unless they said something that only the kidnapper would know, like that she was barefooted. And then they have evidence of that. So let's say there is blood in the home and you can see where she stepped in it and then stepped maybe on the kitchen tile. If that's the case, okay, I would pay attention to that. But you're telling me in 50 days, we haven't been able to track that down to a person, a computer, a type of app, something. We have not heard a word from the sheriff or the FBI that these are authentic.
Are we looking for one person or more?
I think we're looking for one person. Again, what tells me there's more than one person? Nothing. And let me give you an example. Let's say again, it's me and you. Nancy's bleeding. We're going to carry her out of the house. I've got her under her arms. You've got her by the ankles. As we're coming out, the blood there on the front would have your footprints through it as we're carrying her out. There are no footprints there, none. There's no transfer of tennis shoe prints that had blood on them. How does that happen? That means she's either over somebody's shoulder or they're leading her out and she's walking. So that there again, there's no blood, there's no feet that you can see. There's no scuffle, there's no fight. They didn't pull her. Her walker didn't go through it. A cane didn't go through it. There's no drag marks through the rocks. They have droplets and they stop. And that's when she got into the car.
I guess you answered the next question that popped in my mind, because I am, super hyper focused on that back door that's propped open. Mm-hmm. And like Savannah Guthrie, my initial thought would be paramedics, they're wheeling a gurney through or a wheelchair. And so I was thinking wheelchair, but then you hit on it right there that we would see the wheel marks through the blood.
That's right.
So that wasn't the case.
And think about it. If you've gone to all this trouble, that you have disguised yourself from head to toe and covered all possible skin, you've got a bite light in your mouth, why are you going to go around and open a door, prop it open, so that anybody that gets up in the middle of the night and looks out their kitchen window is going to see it? Well, they know that's not going to be right for Nancy. So now you put yourself at a disadvantage. I think it was staged. I think it was on purpose. And again, until they show us, hey, here's a second person that came around the house. Somebody was waiting in the car, so there was at least 3. But right now, we don't have that. We have a guy that was there sometime before. They won't release the date, but we have a picture of him. And then they said they wanted video from January the 11th. So I'm going to go out on a limb and say it was January the 11th.
Right.
And then he's back on the 31st, dressed very similar, but he's added a backpack. That means the 31st, that's go time. But on the 11th and the 24th, he didn't knock the lights out. He didn't, go ahead and take care of the Nest camera. So it's very odd. It all just seems very staged. And he came mission ready on the 31st.
So because he knew the layout of the area, and because he may or may have not known about the family having a Bitcoin account, and because he knows the terrain, is this someone she knows?
I think it is someone that knows of her. I don't think he has any connection to Nancy Guthrie, which is the reason it's a needle in a stack of needles that you're looking for. It could literally be anybody. It's easy if it's a domestic. It's easy if it's somebody within that social circle. It's easy if it's a coworker or somebody at your school, somebody in your neighborhood. But when there's no connection at all, I don't work with you, I don't live near you, I've never dated you, you've never dated anybody in my family. What is the connection? We have no idea. Nancy had a very small group. She met with friends to go to watch church virtually. She went with her family to have dinner and play mahjong. She had neighbors that knew her. But again, she didn't even go to the mailbox every day. So who would know that she was even Savannah Guthrie's mama? Because some of the neighbors said they didn't know it until now. They said they didn't know. So that's not something she put on blast everywhere. And, to me, if you watch the actions of this person, when you're spending more than a minute at the front door trying to figure out what you're going to do with that camera, and it's nothing more than, hey, I'm going to put these flowers here, and then later I'm just going to snatch it right off, that tells me they ain't got a team of people. They don't. They wouldn't have to do all that if there was 3 or 4 of them. You kick in that door, you grab that woman, you take her, and you ransom her right then. They took her by 2:30 in the morning, and the family doesn't know till 11:30, and it's not till 12:30 that they're really completely aware that this is a kidnapping, but still nobody's asked for any money. Why are they waiting? If this is their big payday, they should have known immediately, we've got your mama. We want $6 million in Bitcoin. This is how you better do it, or she's going to be dead by 3 o'clock.
Nothing makes sense. Nothing makes sense. And you know what, my friend? You have been boots on the ground in that area. Tell me about it.
The day I landed, it was 107. So let me tell you about that terrain. That ground is as hard as cement. I had a shovel and I was just going to see just what kind of hole I could dig shortly. There ain't no way she's in a shallow grave. I'm going to tell you, ain't no way. That ground, you can't hardly penetrate it. You just can't. It's full of rocks. It's hard. It's hot. It's arid. You have other, concerns. The area that I was out where we were all walking, there were rattlesnakes. There were bobcats. There were black bear. I mean, the plants will cut you. I mean, it is an unforgiving terrain is all I can tell you. And for me, even driving, when I landed in Phoenix, I drove the whole route back and forth. And Matt, when I tell you, you could possibly put her 1,000 places, I'm not kidding. There's a great hiding spot in this gullet. There's one in this valley. There's one in this bush, because there's not really what I would consider like a wooded area, but they've got tons of this vast landscape that you could hide her so easy out in the open. Just put her out there in the brush, throw some rocks on top of her, and she would just be indigenous in about 5 minutes. You wouldn't even notice her.
That is terrifying and both fascinating at the same time. You know who also, going back to Savannah, she knows the true crime world pretty well. She's been boots on the ground at stories like this many, many times as a journalist, but also as a crime journalist. She's former Court TV. She's also an alum like myself. And again, her words are chosen very carefully, even when talking to her friend in this brand new interview with Today. And she talks about the ransom note. And I want to get your take on it because, to your point, she's also signaling that she thinks it's a single person. Let's watch.
Ransom notes or ransom requests came. Did you believe those to be real?
There are a lot of different notes, I think, that came. And I think most of them, it's my understanding, are not real, and I didn't see them. But, a person that would send a fake ransom note really has to look deeply at themselves.
Yeah.
To a family in pain. But I believe the 2 notes that we received, that we responded to, I tend to believe those are real.
Really?
Again, to your point, you brought up those 2 notes that she references. Again, why do you think that those might be real? What would be in the note?
They would have to know something that occurred that night. I mean, this is real simple. If somebody wants proof of life, you say, hey, what was my nickname as a child? Matt, there's not but 4 people that know that. That's an easy question. You wouldn't ask something broad like, what did she have in the living room? Pictures of the grandkids. I mean, I can tell you what she had in the living room. She had knickknacks. She had pictures of the grandkids. She had an Afghan. I mean, I'm probably pretty close. So if you ask something real specific, you should be able to get proof of life pretty fast. If they didn't get that, that's why these deadlines for this ransom were ignored and they had to move past them, because this person could not provide that. So if she was kidnapped and it was in fact for ransom, then Nancy Guthrie died very quickly. And even though she died, they said, well, we went ahead and went this far. Let's go ahead and send her ransom and see what happens. But it just didn't pan out. But for me, what about them? She's not telling us why those 2. Now, she said they were sent to us and we responded, but she didn't say she got a response back. And then she made the one video on a Saturday that said, hey, I will pay you. And then the deadline came and went Monday and nothing.
But we need to know where she is. We need her to come home. For that reason, we are offering a family reward of up to $1 million.
Well, if that's the ransom that she thought was accurate because she responded to it, I can tell you it was bogus, because he gave her 2 deadlines. Now, come on. If my boss said to me, hey, I'm going to fire you Monday if you don't do such and such. But if you don't do it Monday, I'm going to fire you Thursday. Baby, I got till Wednesday to do it. I ain't worried about Monday.
Absolutely
So
not.
don't give you 2 deadlines for a ransom if it's authentic.
All right. And when we're talking about suspects, early on in a police investigation, it's standard protocol that everyone close to the person that's missing or abducted or murdered is looked at first, right? So is that the reason why the car was towed, that people were interviewed, family members were looked into and then cleared? What are your thoughts on that? And then we're going to hear what that has done to the family, what Savannah Guthrie had to say about it.
If I was their law enforcement liaison, I would have explained to them, listen, your mama was clearly under surveillance. We know 3 times he was at the house. We don't know whether your brother-in-law was followed back to his house. We don't know if your mama's Uber was followed to your house. Maybe they came in your driveway. Maybe they were hiding, crouched down by your car. We need to process your car too. We need to check your video. Are you in danger? I'm going to tell you right now, if there's even an inkling that this was because of any knowledge with Savannah Guthrie, she and her children need around-the-clock security. So that's the way I would explain it, because A, it's true, and B, then you watch them. Is there any pushback? Do they not want to do it? One thing we were told is they willingly gave their phones. They willingly said, go in the house, check our computers. They said that. So I can only believe that towing the cars, because they towed Nancy's too, was to see whether or not there was any evidence there. But this is when communication matters, because if you don't talk and you don't clear it up, that's why all this conspiracy comes from. People are still saying the son-in-law did it. That's really unfortunate if that's not still on the table. But I've only heard the sheriff say that. I haven't heard the FBI say it. But one last thing I will tell you needs to happen, and I cannot believe it hasn't, except for there must be some internal things going on, is the Pima County Sheriff and the FBI and Savannah Guthrie and family need to do one full court press as one team press conference. That has not happened yet.
Let's watch the clip.
When the Ring camera video surfaced and you could see who that person was, just tell me what you thought when you saw those images of the person who took your mother.
I mean, it's just absolutely terrifying.
Yeah.
It's just totally terrifying. And I can't imagine that is who she saw standing over her bed.
Yeah.
I can't. It's too much.
Yeah.
And I'm glad and grateful to the investigators and the technology companies that were able to find that video, stop the irresponsible and cruel speculation that had started to swirl.
Let's talk about that for a minute.
I'm glad that people saw
Yeah.
what came to our door.
When you talk about the cruel speculation, the whispers, the innuendo that it was somebody in your family, how did you weather that?
It's unbearable.
Yeah.
And it piles pain upon pain. There are no words. There are no words. I don't understand. I'll never understand. And no one took better care of my mom than my sister and brother-in-law. And no one protected my mom more than my brother. And we love her, and she is our shining light. She's our matriarch.
Again, that clip from the Today Show, Savannah Guthrie opening up for the first time, just kind of talking about what we already were sharing, the fact that this is pain upon pain for this family that is just searching for answers. And I think that, the misdirects kind of get in the way of an investigation like this.
They do. But I'm going to tell you, I will straight up blame the sheriff for that. There needed to be more press conferences where he was very clear about the direction of this investigation, who was under the microscope and who wasn't. And when you wait all this time and you keep their car for 30 something days, it sure looks like you're looking at somebody. I mean, people aren't stupid. They know it don't take 30 days to process a car. So what in the world is going on? And all he's got to do is clear it up. They were living in a safe house, didn't need the car, didn't want the car. They didn't want to be seen in the car. They didn't know who might be around. Easy. Everybody can understand that. Everybody can accept it. But by saying nothing, that's where you are just feeding this need that people have for information. And if you don't give it to them, they're going to put it out themselves.
Sheryl, what are you waiting for in this investigation? What are you watching for? I know that we're waiting on the DNA. I know that there might be additional clips, pictures, not video, that's expected from the back door area, ring cam or nest cam, some sort of cameras in the back area.
I'm waiting for, obviously, the DNA to come back, and prayerfully that's going to have a, development that we can utilize and get to a person. The other thing that I have been waiting on for 50 days is for everybody to say, hey, we need a large volunteer search party. And somebody like Savannah Guthrie could get 5,000 people out there. Let's all give somebody a coordinate. You go search this part of the desert. Just go walk it. Go hike, get an ATV, get a horse, whatever. Go hunt. There has still not been a formal search. They have not done a grid search. They hadn't done a spiral search. They hadn't done a zone search. They hadn't done it. Savannah Guthrie, all she's got to do is ask, and people would show up in droves. So that I would like to see happen, because if the DNA does not result in a full profile, it's going to be somebody in the general public that comes across something. And they're going to do that while they're camping or hiking or running cross country, whatever it is they're doing. I believe that. So I think we should give them the tools to go and do that. Give them an approximate location. Give them 50 and let them spread out in different areas from here to Phoenix. That's what I would do.
Great ideas and great insight from crime scene investigator, author of Swans Don't Swim in a Sewer, my friend, your friend, True Crime Fam, Sheryl McCollum. Thank you for being with us for this very important discussion today.
Matt, thank you so much. And congratulations on the new show.
Thank you. We hope to have you back. Anyone with any information, please call the Pima County Sheriff's Office or the FBI at 1-800-CALL-FBI. There is still that cash reward. You can remain anonymous, and your tip could help solve the case and bring Nancy home. Take care of yourself. Bye, everyone.